Welcome back to the new news here on this Tuesday. Today we see that President Donald Trump on Monday announced new tariffs on Brazil and Argentina, citing harm to U.S. farmers. Trump says the tariffs on steel from Brazil and Argentina are in response to the devaluation of their currencies. Speaking to reporters on the White House lawn, Trump stated that, quote, "Our steel companies will be very happy and our farmers will be very happy," end quote. Brazil and Argentina are serving as alternate markets for soybeans for China, allowing China to avoid tariffs on U.S. ag products stemming from the tit-for-tat trade war between the U.S. and China. The United States is the top soybean producing country in the world, followed by Brazil, Argentina, and China. Now, as we look to other news here today, before the new year, lawmakers in Washington, D.C. may consider two farm labor bills. One bipartisan bill was introduced by Representative Zoe Lofgren, a Democrat from California, and also co-sponsored by Dan Newhouse and Representative Mike Simpson, both Republicans, addressing the agriculture labor shortage by providing a pathway for ag workers to earn legal status, reforming the H-2A program, and establishing nationwide mandatory E-Verify. But another bill introduced by Representative Ted Yoho, a Florida Republican, has some different priorities.
We deal with creating a reliable, predictable, steady flow of labor for our producers, but also gives protections for the migrant and opportunity to come here and work. We don't deal with immigration. It is a guest worker program. Her bill gets into giving people amnesty and things like that, and it becomes very partisan.
The bill would streamline the H-2A program and move the program to the Department of Agriculture from the Department of Labor. Yoho says the program will screen migrant workers before they enter the country.
What we had devised was a way a person can come into this country and be screened before they come into the country. Once they get the agriculture guest worker permit, they can stay in this country for 5 years at a time. They can renew 4.5 years into the program for another 5 years. They have to work 75% of the year in this country. They're free to go back home and come back, or they can stay all year in this country. They are dedicated to the ag sector, but this is something unique that we haven't had before, and it fulfills the need that people or producers have for year-round labor.
Guest worker reform will be just one of the many topics discussed at this week's Montana Wool Growers Convention in Billings. We'll be back right after this. Well, as we return back here today on Monday, U.S. Senator Jon Tester sent a letter to Secretary of Agriculture Sonny Perdue expressing his frustration in the USDA's response to the situation that wheat farmers are facing in northeast Montana. Tester cites last spring's flooding that delayed planting and excessive fall moisture that stalled and ended harvest as the factors. The additional Supplemental Appropriations for Disaster Relief Act of 2019 extends the WIP Plus program to cover producer expenses related to losses of crops as a result of floods, tornadoes, snowstorms, wildfire, and other natural disasters. Tester said that USDA excluded the Montana farmers from the WIP Plus program and is urging the Secretary of Agriculture to help farmers in their time of need. Well, friends, that's all the time we have for today's Farm Ranch News. We'll send it back over to the news desk.